Hello, everybody. Jack Olmstead. I'm coming to you from Port Townsend, Washington. And today I am talking with Daniel Moore, and he is in Ueda, Japan, in his office. Is it snowing in Ueda?
Not currently, but there is some snow on the ground, actually. It's been
now this weekend you went, you did a little cross training. You went snowboarding.
I did. Yeah, it's fun.
So
twice
twice.
Actually. I'm going.
Are you sore?
Too.
Are you sore?
I was. Yeah, I was right after the first time I went, but my legs are getting used to it, I guess.
Do you ski?
I got to practice for the low bend volley.
Right.
I ski and snowboard, but I typically snowboard when I go on my own. I teach some skiing, but
you're just the jack of all trades. I mean, your list of what you do, you're a world traveler. Let me see, I'm going to bring up your Twitter account because that's where I found that you have a whole lot of information about yourself. Where is it? Right here.
Twitter too much.
Well, yeah, your last tweet was in August.
Yeah.
But it says here that you're a blogger.
Yeah.
You're a Japanese translator.
Yes.
You're a Japanese tour guide. You're a pickleball professional. Agroponics expert.
Yeah.
By the way, do you know John? You know John Parr?
I do not. I'm actually not. I probably need to update that because I don't do too much aquaponics anymore. I lived in Kenya for 2 years after I graduated from college, and that's when I was in kind of the greenhouse farming social enterprise world, but more into the tourism side of things now that I'm in Japan full time.
No, I just messed up the sharing of the screen. Let me try this again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm back, but I got a new application here. Let's go over on this side. Boom! There we are.
There we go.
There's your Twitter account.
There it is. The Twitter account that I never use.
Well, the last time you used it was August 20th. So you did use it 2016. Yeah.
There's just, there's so many different social media things. I'm like, if I updated all the time on all these, like it would take up your entire life just updating on social media.
No, you can cross-pollinate.
Yeah, well, that's true.
You can link your
have one
automatically, right?
Link to the other. Yeah, that's the only time I post on Twitter, actually.
So you can link your Facebook page to your Twitter accounts. Every time you update your Facebook, it automatically goes to Twitter.
Yeah.
And vice versa. And do you have a YouTube channel?
I don't. I should probably have one.
So the video that you posted a couple of days ago regarding your GoFundMe campaign.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring that up.
Yeah.
Well, actually, let's bring up your video. Where's your video?
A couple more down, I think. If you go a little further down on the screen.
Really?
There, one more down, or a couple more.
Underneath the helicopter.
I think so.
No, we're still there. It is. There you are.
Yeah.
So you didn't post this on YouTube. You just uploaded it to Facebook.
On Facebook. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just use Facebook a lot more. So
is this your go-to social media?
Yeah, Facebook, and I use Instagram quite a bit as well.
So can you kind of give us an idea of why you did this and where you did it?
Yeah, so this was the other day in Ueda. We have a pickleball group that plays every 2 weeks here. And we ran out of gym, and a local sports organization promotes it for us. We've been doing it for about 3 months, I guess. And, it's slowly gaining more traction. We had, I think, 13 or 14 people the other day, which is the most we've had. We filled out 3 courts, and most of those people are repeaters that actually come every week now. So we're really trying to get consistent play around Japan. That's the goal now, because we've done these events where we introduce pickleball all over Japan, 3 or 4 locations. But if you don't have that follow-up, it doesn't continue. It's like, oh, that was nice. We really enjoyed playing, but we don't have battles or balls or anyone to organize this play, or any way to get better, because we only play once. So the goal now is to get locations around Japan to have set times once a week, even if it's once a month, just so that people can consistently play and go back and start getting better, and then they can invite their friends, and that's where we see it growing. So.
And that is the reason why you launched your crowdsourcing campaign.
Exactly. Yeah, we want to grow the sport in Japan.
So here we got your page up. So
Yeah.
What's the pitch? What's the deal?
Well, yeah. So, we need funding, obviously, which is why we started the GoFundMe campaign. Really, the main thing we need funding for is to be able to travel around the country teaching new people the sport. Someone from the Japan Pickleball Association needs to go to these places that want to play. We're getting requests actually from all over Japan of people saying, we've heard this, we've seen the videos on YouTube, we want to start this sport, but we don't know the rules, we need somebody to teach us. But Japan is actually a fairly big country. It's 2,000 miles long. So it's not just a little, hop and a skip over. We need to travel all over Japan to teach these people. And so that's the main thing we need the funding for. The second one, and I should say, if we went to every place that requested us to go, we would be traveling all the time. So we're trying to set up a system where, maybe the local people or a sports organization, whatever, that is requesting us to go pays for half of that, and then we pay for half of that out of this Japan Pickleball Association fund that we're trying to collect. So that's kind of what we're looking at doing. The second thing we need to use the money for is to just buy paddles. We want to initially just buy wooden paddles, and then when we go to a new club or location that wants to play, we give them maybe 4 or 8 wooden paddles to use, and then we say, this is your starter kit, and new people can use these, but when you want an ice paddle, come to our website where we sell our paddles. We want to kind of set up the pickleball central of Japan, so to speak, where we have all the different paddle manufacturers represented, and then we send those paddles to them online when they get more into it and when they're ready to purchase a paddle. So those are, I would say, the 2 main places that we want to use the funding: traveling around Japan, purchasing paddles and balls as kind of a starter kit for new locations that want to play. And then finally, we need to register the Japan Pickleball Association as a nonprofit organization, and I'm not very clear on the legal, the process of setting up a Japanese nonprofit, but it does cost some money. So we need some funding for that. So that's basically what we want to do, get these clubs around Japan that consistently play, and hopefully that starts a movement, snowball effect. Eventually we want to have a Japanese national tournament somewhere. Hopefully the winners or a winner from that can get an entry into the US nationals, so that we have some more international representation at American events too. So that's some of the goals that we have for Japan Pickleball.
Regarding traveling,
yeah,
is your vision like an Onyx bus where you go from place to place, kind of RVing around Japan?
Maybe someday, but really public transportation is the easiest way to get around Japan. So we'll, at first at least, we'll be bullet training around Japan.
And then you stay
at 250 miles an hour or something like that.
Right, and then you stay at hotels, or do they have hostels,
or if the local, whoever wants to start it in that location wants to host us, then we could stay at their house, or hotels. Probably depends on the situation.
So the transportation money is for your 250-mile-an-hour bullet trains to get you from one to the other.
Primarily, yes. That's what I would say.
How about eating?
Yeah, sure. I mean, typically, if someone hosts you, they would probably pay for your food. But if that doesn't happen, then sure, we would need to pay basically all the expenses of whoever from the Japan Pickleball Association is going to teach. We would like to be able to pay those expenses as they
How many teachers do you currently have?
Let's see. There's myself and 3 guys in Tokyo that they're probably at the 4.0 level, I would say, maybe getting towards 4.5. And they're the founding members of the JPA, Japan Pickleball Association, as well. And they've been doing it for about 2 years now, I guess, in Tokyo, and have a very consistent. They play twice a week in Tokyo with 20 to 30 people. So that's a great start there. But up to this point, it's been pretty much all out of pocket, all the organizing and traveling that we've done. So and all of us have full-time jobs, so it's not like we can just take off anytime. But it would be nice to be able to pay their travel expenses at least, so it doesn't have to continue to be out of pocket.
So is that all you're looking for, is paying travel expenses? Are you going to be paying for people's time to teach and be away from their jobs?
I mean, maybe someday that will happen, but at this point, we want to make this money stretch as far as possible. So we're probably not going to compensate ourselves for our time at this point. Just at least cover the expenses, so it's not out of pocket. But yeah, I don't think Japan Pickleball's to that point yet. We're not going to have tons and tons of money, and we'd like to see the sport grow rather than pay ourselves right now. So
you're putting in some sweat equity on this?
Yeah, sweat and blood. I guess not much blood yet, but lots of sweat. But, you know, I think that's what you have to do. I mean, I see all these clubs around the US as well. And I mean, people have put a lot of time and effort for free into starting pickleball across the US, and they haven't really expected anything in return. So I think, at least at first, that's what we've got to expect in Japan too. And like I said, I think a little bit of the difference is that, you know, it's nice if you are already retired and have that income set aside, and, you know, you have the time to do that. In Japan, we're still all working full time, so it makes it a little bit more of a challenge. But, you know, we've got to put in the time and the effort either way. So
now the wooden paddles, would you be getting them from China, Taiwan, or will they be making them there in Japan?
Yeah, I haven't really decided that yet, but there is a guy locally that he made 10 paddles for us as a demo, and they were like really heavy. They're like 11 ounces or something. And the handle wasn't right and everything. But if we tell him the specifications, I think he will be able to make those much better. And so I think we might do that. That's going to be the cheapest way to make a bunch of paddles. Otherwise, we'd have to, you know, make them in China and import them, or buy them in the States and import them, and then pay taxes and wait for them and blah, blah, blah. So I think we might just make them in Japan. We can make them for about $10 a paddle. So that, in that way, our money will go a long way too.
$10 a paddle. You know, I'm buying paddles at the Goodwill for $3 because people are getting rid of their wooden paddles.
True.
How about if people, you know, sent wooden paddles to Japan that they gathered up around the US? Because,
sorry, I had a little mic malfunction next to me. You know, I mean, it's certainly a possibility. Sorry.
What is that?
It's the computer next to me. The guy.
Is he listening to us?
He is, yeah.
That's it. He's getting feedback, so he has to put headphones on because it's coming through his speakers.
There we go.
I guess he understands English.
Somewhat.
So headphones, you know, he plugs in headphones and boom, no feedback.
Yeah, I think he just unplugged the whole computer.
Oh.
Yeah, it's certainly a possibility that if people don't want their wooden paddles, we would definitely love to have them. You know, we would need to collect them in one place and then send them, because otherwise shipping is going to be way more than the price of the paddle. I've also heard that the USAPA has a free starter kit of $250 worth of equipment. So I think we're going to look into that and see if we're eligible.
Now, you were talking about for these groups that you're going to start in Japan. Mm-hmm. How about the nets? Are you going to be able to manufacture nets in Japan, or would you be importing them from China?
That's a good question. The nice thing about starting pickleball in Japan is that every gym in Japan is already lined with badminton courts. So what we're doing, because it's free and we don't have to buy or, you know, bring over nets yet, is that we're just using the badminton nets and lowering the net down to the pickleball level. So it's a quick fix. It's not probably a permanent solution, but at least to start pickleball in Japan, it's enough to get people out there and playing. The other thing is that the kitchen line is about 6 inches closer to the net on a badminton court as opposed to a pickleball court. But for now, while people are learning, it's not enough of a difference to really matter that much. So we're just keeping the badminton lines for now. As we get into, sanctioned tournaments and people really getting into it, I think we'll have to put a duct tape line down or something for the real kitchen and get the actual nets. Because on a badminton court, the net is only as wide as the court. So on a pickleball court, net's wider, right? So what happens is it's much, much easier to go around the post on this system that we're using. But again, for beginners starting out, it's fine. We're bootstrapping it. So for us, it fits our needs well enough that we can do it on that initially.
So it sounds like it's going to be indoor play, not much outdoor play.
Japan's pickleball will be almost exclusively indoors, I would say. And the reason is, A, all the gyms in Japan already have these lines on them. And then B, Japanese tennis courts, a lot of them are this surface called Omni, and it's an artificial turf court with sand on top of it. And the pickleball balls don't bounce on that surface at all. And you can't draw lines on it or anything. So that's the main reason why most of the pickleball in Japan will be indoors.
How about balls?
What about them? Which ball?
Manufacturing them? Do you just get them from China like everybody else, or?
Yeah, I'm just ordering boxes from China.
Boxes of balls. Are you going with the Jugs ball, or are you going with another brand?
We've gone with the Jugs for now. I think it's just cheaper than the rest of the balls, and we're just starting, so that's fine for us for now.
You don't find that they are inferior since they've been deemed illegal for sanctioned tournament play in the U.S. as of September or October the 1st.
Yeah, I mean, Japan is quite a ways from sanctioned events really mattering that much. I mean, it's all rec play at this point, so it doesn't really matter.
I was just wondering about the ball. If the ball was deemed illegal or inferior, I don't know what the rationale was behind saying that this ball can't be used.
They get deformed pretty quicker than the other balls. They're not as hard. And
there was a tournament. There was a tournament in Oregon last weekend, and they said we are not going to be sanctioned because we are going to play with Jugs balls.
Right.
So they love the balls, and they're kicking out the sanction.
I mean, yeah, the whole Dura Pure 2 controversy and stuff too. For sanctioned events in the U.S. it matters, but for Japan, where it's all rec play, it doesn't matter. We can use whatever we want, really. We're just getting the sport going. So when we get to that point, we'll use sanctioned balls, but we're just not to that point yet. So.
Well, it'd be interesting, who sanctions the, tournaments in Japan. It would be your association, not a global association, until I guess pickleball enters into the Olympics, and then everybody goes with the Olympic.
there is
guide.
now an International Federation of Pickleball, the IFP, and after we get registered as an organization or an association in Japan, then we will register with the IFP. So I would imagine that the IFP sanctions certain balls and rules and whatever. So, we'll follow the IFP or the USAPA's sanctioning process, but we're just not to that point yet. Probably won't
Let's
be
go
for a
back.
while.
Let's go back to the GoFundMe campaign.
Okay.
Can we do that?
Sure. Yeah. I'd love to.
I want you to talk as much as you want about this. So we're looking at the picture of kids. Are you planning on launching a program that goes into the schools?
We're not. These particular kids have been playing for about a year, and they're really good, like amazingly good. But they homeschool, and so they come, I think, to every pickleball, time in Tokyo that they play. But this was during our annual Japan pickleball trip. I should mention that at least. We've done it 2 years now. It's great. We travel around the country doing pickleball events and playing with the local clubs, and then also doing some tourism type stuff around Japan, taking people to places that you would never be able to go on your own if you didn't have a Japanese speaker with you. So
thank you.
That's a great trip. It's on our website, pickleballtrips.com.
Oh, I was going to say, do you have any pictures on your Facebook page?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook page. We have a Facebook page for pickleball trips. It's just called Pickleball Trips. And next year's
I'm trying
trip,
to find it. It's on Facebook, Pickleball Trips?
Yeah, if you type in Pickleball Trips, it should come up.
Pickleball, not tips.
Trips, yeah.
Trips. There it is.
Yeah.
Scott Moore. Is he involved in this, your dad?
He is involved. Yeah, he's doing a lot of the recruiting and sales and such.
I didn't want to go to videos. I want to go to photos. No, not posts, photos. So what's happening here? Can you see the picture?
Yeah. Oh, that's a taiko drum performance. Last year on our trip, we had a guy come to the hotel we were staying and do a traditional drum performance in front of everybody. So we try to mix in some cultural activities along with pickleball and other activities too. We have, optional hiking and guided tour of Tokyo and things like that. Now
the tour, is that in August?
No, this next year, it's going to be September 23rd to October 1st, 2017.
And where can they get more information?
16 people. If you go to pickleballtrips.com, that's where we have all the information on the trips. I should also mention in December, we're going to be doing a St. Croix pickleball trips, 2 weeks of kind of beach vacation and playing pickleball every day combined. It's going to be my dad and myself coaching along with several other 5-0 coaches. And it's going to be amazing. So please check that out on pickleballtrips.com.
So we are in December. Is this going to be in a couple of weeks? Is that what you're saying?
Sorry, December of 2017.
December next year, a year from now.
1 year from now, yeah. Exactly.
This picture here, is this of the group?
Yeah, that is not this year's group, but last year's group. We had Hillary Merrill on that trip, who is a multi-time national champion, as well as Barbara Jordan, who actually won the Australian Open tennis singles in 1979 or something. So pretty high profile people came on the trip.
Are there any pictures that you want to talk about?
Can you go towards the top a little bit more?
Yep. Like this right here. Optional hike.
Yeah, this is our this is in Kyoto. So on this next year in 2017, we're gonna go to 4 different locations in 8 days. And then at the end of the trip, we have an optional extra day walking around Kyoto. Kyoto's Japan's ancient capital. Lots of old historic temples and shrines, and this is the bamboo forest. Really cool place. So anyway, we weren't sure if people wanted to spend an extra day, if that would make it too long. It's already 8 days. No, sorry, 8 nights, 9 days as it is. Adding on the Kyoto part would make it 9 nights, 10 days. But it's a fantastic place, beautiful, and lots of history and culture. So we thought we'd give that as an option to people if they want to go to Kyoto for an additional day next year.
Is this a walking trail, or do people ride their bikes, skateboards, rollerblades?
You can't skateboard. I don't know if I've ever seen bikers. I think it's only open to pedestrians, but I'd have to check on that. But
I mean, it looks like asphalt. And so when you have asphalt, at least in the United States, people ride their bikes.
Right, but it gets pretty crowded on this path, so I'm not sure if they just close it down to bikers or what.
And how long is the path? How much area does it cover?
Oh, it's maybe like, I don't know, half a mile each way.
Oh, I see.
You go all the way up the path and then you go back down. So.
Anything else? I see you got a deer here.
Yeah, that's in a place called Nara. It's crazy. The deer actually. Oh, did I lose you? No, there you are. Okay. We don't go there on the tour actually, but the deer in this place are just everywhere, and people feed them, so they're used to people, and they'll like headbutt you and stuff to try to get food off of you. It's pretty crazy. But maybe we can go back to the GoFundMe campaign. That's enough about the trips.
Here we are. GoFundMe.
Yeah. So this was a group of elderly people in Tokyo that played for the first time this day, but they're all racket sports people, and so they picked it up, within the day, pretty well. This one guy, the second from the left, is 80. I think he said he was 82 years old, but I mean, he's running around. I think he dove one time. It's just crazy how fit this guy is. And eager to play too.
So the net that they are standing in front of and behind, that looks like a portable net. So is that
actually that actually is a real pickleball net. We have 2 or 3 in Japan. So when we have them around, we use them. But for the other nets, you know, because we don't have enough, we just use the badminton nets. I think if you go further down, we might be able to see one of the badminton. Oh no, that's the hole. No, we can't see it. Okay, never mind. But this next picture is last year on our pickleball trip. We had, let's see, I think 17 of us from the US, and then like 30 Japanese people. So it's the biggest pickleball event ever in Japan. You know, we had almost 50 people there on 8 courts, and the Americans got to mix in with the Japanese and play, and everybody just kind of rotated through, played with everybody, and had a great time. So it was a fantastic event. I think both sides really enjoyed that mingling of cultures and being able to do that through this sport that we love. So it was a very good time. So
it looks like on the second floor there's a walking or running track, just like in the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it also doubles as a viewing platform if you want to watch from above.
Mm-hmm.
But it can also be a running track. Yeah.
So here at this point, you talk about how vital the money is, and what it's going to be used for, to travel around the country, to place paddles, balls in locations, to do clinics, demos.
Yep.
And you're thinking about $1,500 US will pay the fees for Japan Pickleball Association to become a non-profit organization in Japan.
Right. Yeah, that's what I've been told. Again, I'm not an expert on the Japanese legal system, but apparently, you know, there's different lawyers' fees and things like that you have to pay to set up a nonprofit.
You also talk about donations over $25 is going to receive a pickleball Japanese pickleball T-shirt. Have you come up with the logo?
No, my sister-in-law is currently designing the logo, or helping design it. So we're still in the process of that. But if you do donate over $25, we will send you a Japan Pickleball T-shirt that's going to be really cool. That I know. We just haven't finished the design yet, so it's not out there. But I will post a picture of it when the design is ready.
And that picture will be up on your Facebook page.
I'll put it on Facebook and probably on this GoFundMe page too.
That's right. You can let your funders know what's going on.
That's right. And then lastly, this picture is the founders of the Japan Pickleball Association. This is kind of the core membership. We have, well, people probably won't remember their names if I say them, but anyway, we have the guys that have been there from the start, helping us launch pickleball in Japan. They're vital to this success too. This wouldn't have happened if it hadn't been for them. So I want to thank them.
Now, is this who you play with when you're in Japan?
Yeah,
this looks like doubles.
When I'm in Tokyo, these are the guys that are sort of, you know, probably high 4.0 level, mid to high 4.0 level guys. So that's who I play with.
So as I remember, when pickleball first started out, they used a badminton court And then it came to somebody's attention that people that were tall had an advantage, and so they kicked it back 6 inches. Are there very many tall people in Japan for that would make a difference?
Well, I mean, no, people aren't typically as tall.
So that would probably work out for Japanese players.
But even if you're not that tall, I mean, it still changes the game. If you move that line in 6 inches, it's, a ball that would have been a good third shot all of a sudden is kind of a mid-range volley.
I don't think you're moving it in, you're moving it back, aren't you?
For a real pickleball court, you move it back 6 inches.
Right.
So, so
you don't have as much space.
It makes it a little bit harder to hit a good third shot and drop, basically, is what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. But for now, again, it's just easier to keep it, it's already so easy to just pick up and play because of the existence of badminton lines and nets, that for now we don't really want to make it harder to start. We want people to be able to play really easily, and the main thing is to have fun with it, and you can do that on the course that we have right now. So that's kind of our thinking at this moment.
That's what we're doing in Port Townsend, Washington as well. We're starting,
right,
and we're using the gym at an old grammar school, elementary school, and they have badminton lines, and
might as well use them.
We're just using them. I mean, we could tape them. We got tape, but it takes too much time, and it really doesn't alter the game that much. And so, that's how we're rolling. If it
especially at that beginner level, I don't think it changes it very much. So,
well, yeah, we got 3, 5, and 4-0 players, but still, it's not a big.
It's not. It doesn't.
It's not a deal breaker.
It doesn't change the game fundamentally. It makes it a little bit harder to hit the short shots, but
yeah, so that's how we're rolling. I mean, and I think most probably clubs out there, they go with what they got.
Yeah.
And then as they grow, then they will come into compliance.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's kind of where we're at right now.
And today, if we go back to the GoFundMe campaign here for a minute, if I can bring it up. Here it is. And I have to apologize because I thought I was sharing the screen, but we were looking at you most of the time when we were looking at the pictures.
Oh, really? Okay.
So if you really want to see those pictures, go check out Daniel's Facebook page and the Japan Traveler. Is that it?
Pickleball Trips.
Pickleball Trips Facebook page. That's where the images were from. So I just wanted to come here to the top and show everybody. Let me come back here. Okay. You've raised $650.
Yeah.
In what, 48 hours? This launched like 2 days ago.
It's a good start.
So is this what you expected?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I just did a couple of Facebook general blasts so far, and now I'm going to start sending more personalized emails to people that I think would get on board with this.
Well, your friends and your family, I see that your dad, he donated $50.
Yeah, he donated personally, and then Paddles and More, our company that sells paddles, donated some money too. So
I didn't know you had a paddle company. I didn't see that on your Twitter account.
Oh yeah, yes, we're distributors for Paddle Tech. So we don't make our own paddles, but we just distribute them on the West Coast for Paddle Tech.
So you don't have a signature paddle with Paddle Tech, do you?
I don't. No.
Is that something that you are hoping for? Kind of like following the Morgan Evans out there with his signature paddle?
Maybe. I actually didn't know Morgan had a signature paddle, but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, it's the rage. Everybody's buying it up.
Yeah.
My brother bought one, and there are a couple of people here in Port Townsend, small town, and they got them.
It's that long paddle, right?
Yeah, that long white paddle. And Tyson McGuffin, he said it changed his whole game. And he says he loves it. And that's what he played with at Nationals.
Okay. I didn't realize that was the Morgan Evans signature, but I knew Selkirk was making it. But
yeah, and just to let you know, it's not his real signature.
Oh, really?
Selkirk got a signature double for his paddle.
Okay.
So I think the whole, little experience people can have is get Morgan to sign his real signature on that paddle, because then it will make it authentic,
right?
Not a signature double.
Right. Huh.
So I think we were talking about you cross training.
Oh yeah.
In the green room before we went live.
Uh-huh.
Over the weekend, you did a little cross country, a lot of little cross training, snowboarding.
Did, yeah. Yeah. The other cross training that I do primarily is hiking, and I work as a hiking tour guide in Japan's mountains.
And that's why we had to reschedule this live stream, because you got a job yesterday.
I did. Yeah, I was taking people to the snow monkeys. They're these monkeys that get in these hot springs, and they look like humans. They're just like relaxing like this, and they're hilarious actually. But I got a job doing that, so.
So do people get into the hot tub, into the hot springs with snow monkeys?
You're not allowed to get in with them. It's pretty gross, actually. The monkeys poop in the bath and stuff. But you would.
Yeah, that would be. I would think that would deter most people from getting into the the hot springs with the monkeys.
People don't get in with the monkeys.
Yeah, they're not into monkey poo.
Thankfully, yeah. Yeah.
So what's your diet like in Japan?
I mean, I eat mostly Japanese food.
Right. So what does that consist of?
Which is really healthy. Rice, a lot of times. Almost every meal has miso soup with it. So it's like miso's made from fermented soybeans and some salt and some rice. It's kind of like mixed up in this broth with tofu and seaweed, which are also really healthy. And then,
do you cook? Are you a cook?
I cook a little bit.
I mean, not just heating up stuff, but do you actually cook stuff from scratch?
I do enjoy cooking. Yeah, I'm just traveling so much that if I'm home for like 2 or 3 days, I don't usually buy all the ingredients I need for, because I won't use them all before I leave again. So then I get lazy and don't cook that much. But yeah. So.
Well, now you're also a blogger.
Yes, I've gotten out of the habit of blogging. I need to blog more. But
Let me get your blog up here on the screen.
Yeah, I think the problem is when I was in Africa, I blogged a lot because I was traveling all over the place and everything was so new. I wanted to write about my experiences. But when I'm in Japan, nothing really seems that new to me because I grew up here for 15 years. But I realized that to most other people, it is really new. So I need to continue to do this. I've gotten kind of lazy, but.
Did you go to Japanese school?
I did. I went to Japanese school for about 10 years. Public Japanese school.
When did you pick up tennis?
I mean, I don't know, 4 years old, probably. Was when I started playing with my dad.
Did your dad encourage you at 4 years old?
Yes.
That seems pretty doggone young. Did he like get you going with foam balls and racket?
Encourage. Yeah,
encourage
is an interesting word. It was more like you're playing. It's more like
did he
this is what's happening.
Did he tape rackets to your hand?
Yeah, he put a racket in my hand. Probably younger than 4, really. I mean, probably 2 or 3. But I guess I had some hand-eye coordination at that age, even because I started playing tournaments when I was probably 7 or something. So.
Well, that's pretty cool. Is there anything else you want to talk about?
You know, I wanted to make sure I thank the people that have supported the project already. Some people actually gave us money before I even posted on Facebook or anything. So I don't know how they found out about the project, but I was really thankful that they donated. And then after I posted as well, lots of people have started donating. So I really appreciate that. And, you know, ask that if people want to see the sport grow globally, that they would help us out and that hopefully they can make it over to Japan someday. I think the most fulfilling thing is to see it with your own eyes, right? And to be able to come over here and play with people and meet people. And that's when it sort of becomes real. So I would love for people to get on board with us, not just financially, but with their time. And, you know, we want to make this an Olympic sport, and these are the kind of things that it's going to take. So that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Do you think you're going to be able to play in the Olympics if pickleball becomes an Olympic sport? Or do you think? I
think I will be too old by the time it's in the Olympics. I'll be too old. Yeah.
How about Marcin? Do you think Marcin will be too old? I mean, by the time it gets into the Olympics, you're probably going to be Marcin's age.
I mean, I'm a lot. Yeah. Well, I mean, what is he, 40? So 12 years. I think it would be a stretch for pickleball to get in the Olympics in 12 years. Because it's just not international enough. And the IOC is infamously slow at putting things into. So I think 20 years is maybe realistic, but it just takes a long time for things to get set, and the sports are set like 6 years before the event. So in 20 years I'll be 47 years old. I don't know. I mean, I think I'll be competing at that time in pickleball, but by that time, I think better athletes will be in the sport. People that, you know, could play professional tennis might opt to play professional pickleball instead. And at that point, I don't really have any illusions that I won't be the best or at one of the best anymore. So, but I think it's a good thing. I think better people will start coming into the sport. And by the time I'm Marston's age, I don't think I'll be able to compete with the young guys like Marston competes with us now.
Now, Andy Roddick, he was playing
Yeah.
pickleball a couple of weeks ago. What did you think of that?
Oh, that's great. That's what the sport needs. I want Kei Nishikori to play, and then if that happened, pickleball would explode in Japan. So if anyone has a connection to Kei Nishikori, please let me know, and I will go anywhere to meet him and have him play pickleball, because that by itself would change the game completely in Japan. It really would. And, you know, if we can make that happen, I think it'd be incredible. I think it's going to do great things for pickleball in the States too. But in the States, you know, the snowball is already happening. In Japan, it's not to that point yet. So,
but it's been going in the States for 50 years.
Right. It's been going in Japan for 2.
Yeah. So it's, you know,
right.
Time will tell.
But a catalyst like that would be amazing for us.
Well, really to have a top 10 tennis player play pickleball and not, say, an ex-pro tennis player like an Andy Roddick. I mean, he still has wheels. He still's got game.
Yeah. I mean, he would be one of the best in the world if he played for a month.
Yeah.
I think.
But again, he's got a foundation. He gives money. He doesn't have to make money.
Right. Well,
at this point in his life, and when you go professional, you figure, you know, you're going to have your lifestyle paid for, like he did with tennis. I mean, if you take a look at his earnings on the court, you know, it's probably over $35 million, you know, in his career, and he's 32, 33 years old. So
yeah. If Kei Nishikori could spare an hour to play pickleball with us, I would be eternally indebted to him because it would get so much exposure in Japan. But
well, he'd have a pretty good match, I'm sure, with you.
He'd be good. He'd be really good.
Have you played with any professional tennis players?
Well, Marston.
Well, I know, but he wasn't like a top 10. He played Davis Cup, and I think went to the US Open, but he wasn't like top 10 caliber like Andy Roddick. Andy Roddick was number 1 in the world for a while.
Mm-hmm. Was he number 1, or he just won the US?
I read someplace where he was number 1 for a while. I don't think he won a major. He never won I don't think he won a major tennis tournament. He got close.
He won the US Open one time. That was his only.
He did? Okay.
Major. Yeah. Anyway, I haven't played with anyone of that level. I mean, I don't think anyone of that level, anyone else besides Roddick has played yet at this point.
Right.
So, well, Jack, I better go.
That's right. You're working. You're in your office.
Yeah. But thank you so much for this interview. I look forward to seeing it. Are you going to post it on YouTube?
It's already posted on YouTube. I'm going to send you the link, and you can go watch it. And what I can do is just grab some clips, and then we can share. Before we go, we're approaching the end of the year. What's in store for you 2017?
2017 is going to be crazy. In the winter, I'm just working here in Nagano, doing tours. I do some snowshoeing tours. I'll be at the US Open in April, and then I'll come back here, work on my walking tours, And then in the summer, I'll be here for a while, and then I'll be in the States. I'll play TOC. We're doing some boot camps around the US. And then the fall is the Japan pickleball trip in September, and then come back to the US for nationals. I will go to St. Croix after that for our pickleball trip, 2 weeks of pickleball boot camp kind of thing there. And then I'll probably be back in Japan for the end of the year.
A year from now.
A year from now, yeah.
Because you got your tour.
Exactly.
All right. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight.
Thank you, Jack. Yeah, I appreciate it.
Daniel, and good luck. We'll see you later.
All right. Take care.